Welcome into a new episode of another Footy podcast. As always, I'm your host Joey, and apologies for not being able to record last night. Feeling a bit crook, a bit under the weather, but I can't chuck an Adam Dewey. I gotta persevere. I gotta soldier on. Baxter unfortunately couldn't make it tonight, and it's actually Jack's birthday. So if you're listening, Jack, happy birthday, my brah. Love ya, and hope you're having a good night with the fams. But I'm joined by someone special tonight, and really grateful for his time tonight. He's well known on around the West Tigers podcasting circles. We got Shane, aka the Hoff. Shano, how are you, mate?
Joey, great to be here. And unlike the West Tigers, mate, I'm really good for the next man up.
we got all round depth here on another footy podcast.
Exactly, mate. So, no, thanks for inviting me, mate. I'm chuffed.
Nah, you're all right, mate. Look, something I've done myself as a host and with my co-hosts. Tell us a bit about yourself. How you came to start watching footy, who you support, and how you started supporting them, and your favorite player.
Yeah, look, as I said, I'm one of the older generation, Gen X. Was an original West Magpie supporter, as everyone may know. Got on board the joint venture when it all happened. We had no other way. And not going to lie, I sort of fell out of love with footy there for a fair number of years, from about 2015 to probably 2020. Watched every West Tigers game, but just didn't have that interest. And that's how I actually came upon the other podcast that I'm on now. I just wanted to get back into it, re-embrace my love for the West Tigers. Just listened intently to that podcast, got to know the guys, fell in love with the Discord, all you guys, and now I'm back, more in love than ever. So I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but yeah.
It's bad at the moment.
Yeah, you telling me. Bloody shit house. I'm good.
Who's your current favorite Tigers player?
Oh, my current favorite West Tigers player. Oh, look, I hate just picking one. Look, when he's on, Dream Bull is just so exciting. But again, very hit and miss.
Very
you know
miss
what?
lately.
Yeah, and I'll say another one, Tito Taruva, probably my favorite, only because he absolutely put egg on my face because I didn't agree with his signing all those years ago. I thought it was a horrible signing, but he ended up, especially last year, just had an absolute barnstormer of the year. So probably him, Tito, when he's in form.
And who's someone you enjoy watching that doesn't play for the Tigers?
Sewer, Far Logo, love him to death. I've always been a
he's
fan of
fun to
the
watch.
little man, the Storm.
He's very fun to watch. His
Oh, mate.
footwork and the way he busts tackles and stuff. We can only
I
dream.
watched him. Yeah, look, my son used to support the West Tigers, and just one day, some years ago, he's like, "Stuff that! I've had enough." And he
Smart
went to
choice.
the Storm. He went to the Storm, and I said, "Well, once you go, you're not coming back." And he's enjoyed success following the Storm. So I've sort of, jumped on board the Storm a little bit and watched the games with him. And yeah, that's who I fell in love with. Not only Sewer, but Paps before him. And I said, yeah, I've got a soft spot for the Storm, and but he's probably my favorite player at the moment. Sewer, just he's an excitement machine, as you said. Every time you touch the ball, everyone stands up expecting something, and more often than not, he delivers.
And one for us, to educate us younger lads, who's someone from back in maybe the Magpies era that no one would really know about?
Oh, look, the heart and soul, mate. Trevor Cogger. He was our halfback at Barella Bear Junior, I'm pretty sure. He stuck with the Magpies through thick and thin. He was a heart and soul. So not a big man, but heart the size of Farlat. Love him to death.
Well, we'll get straight into it. Who was your team at the round and why?
Yeah, look, who can go past the Roosters? And, I hate their guts, but my God, any team that puts 60 on, let alone 82 points. You've got to give them a rap. Yeah, it was just they were the best they ever played this year, and the Cowboys were the worst. But just their lines that they run, and they didn't give up. A lot of sides that you see that go to a huge lead at halftime, they sort of either shut up shop in the second half and let the other team back in, but they were just relentless. Not looking forward to playing them in a couple of weeks. I'm telling you.
They might break the 82-point record.
You know what? We'll probably beat them. That's just so West Tigers, eh?
Nah, I don't think so.
Neither do I.
Yeah, nah, look, it's hard to disagree. The Roosters definitely, to be honest, in my lifetime, like I'm not that old, but
Yep.
I've never actually seen a team beat the clock before. And
Yeah, well,
the
that's what I'm saying.
Roosters,
Yeah, you usually see it up until half time, and then they put the cue in the rack, but the Roosters just didn't.
yeah, no, they were very ruthless. It seems like that sort of performance came at the right time. There was a few people questioning sort of whether they can go on to win it. Do they have the sort of the same credentials as like a Penrith, or are they in form like the Warriors or the Sharks? But this is sort of a real statement win for them. Sam Walker, we'll probably touch on him a bit more later. He's sort of coming to his own, and the whole team, man, the whole team, they just seem to they're really finding form at the right time. I think Daly Cherry Evans as well. He's sort of had a bit of an up and down season, but I feel like maybe the last month and a half of footy, he's sort of maybe finding that form that he had at Manly a bit. Player I'm really jealous of that the Roosters have, and I'm
Yep,
always making a big song and dance about him. Nafahu White. What
yep.
I would do man, I would kill for a prop like him. He's just a beast. Just to put
Yeah,
it
look, they're
bluntly,
just
like
they're just playing with everything at the moment. Confidence, skill, effort. And I know. Look, I'm 100% sure he'll be back in the NRL sooner rather than later. But that Mark Nawata, whatever the fuck, however you say his surname, mate, he's a
Marky.
freak. He's a
Yeah,
freak. You talk about players that just have, it just seems they have timing like Cleary. For a winger, he just has got time, and like he'll catch a ball, stop, have a look, and say, right, I'm going to run this way and put some footwork on, and more often than not, scores. He's an
yeah.
absolute
He
freak.
just makes something out of nothing, eh?
Oh, all the time. My God, and he will absolutely smash him in rugby. But yeah, hopefully we see him back in the NRL. You don't want to lose a player like that.
Well, that's the thing. Can rugby league sort of offer him the sort of coin that he can get playing union?
No, probably not. But I think, how they always end up coming back. I don't know an NRL player that went to league that didn't come back. If someone can prove me wrong, I'm sure someone has done that, but I can't remember any.
Falau?
Yeah.
Yeah, we shouldn't open that can of worms, actually.
Yeah, I know.
To be honest, but with the Roosters, right, it feels like over the last couple of years, they've sort of underachieved because, there's no doubt on paper, every year they're probably like the top two, top three team in the comp, but
Yep.
they just can't,
Well,
for whatever reason, seem to get past Melbourne or Penrith. I don't know. Do you think
yeah.
this year
No,
might finally be the year?
yeah, no, you're 100% right. Look, it's all about hitting form at the right time. No point, winning a comp in March or May.
Yeah.
Just like the Sharks, their hit form, coming into the semis. Unlike Cronulla, I don't think the Roosters have peaked. But again, we'll wait and see. Penrith will be tough because they've been there, but I think there's probably only three sides that can win it. Penrith, the Roosters, and I'm going to throw in a smoky, the Dolphins.
The Dolphins.
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
think
I like that.
think
I
sometimes
like
you just
that.
cannot beat pace, and they've got it in spades, and they'll come into this semi-finals, the Dolphins, without a care in the world. They'll just throw it around, and they're liable to get lapped by 40 or win by 30. So yeah, they're
Well, so
my
you're not
smoke.
buying into the hype of the Wires?
No, I think they'll shit themselves.
Really?
Yeah, I do. And look, hats off to them. They've had a great season. But they did play themselves back into form on the weekend. But yeah, the jury's still out with me with those guys.
Yeah, they're in a bouts for like the last couple of years now. I feel like maybe this year, they finally take that step. I don't know. I'm liking them and Penrith the most, but
Yeah.
Sharks, they're probably my smoky, to be honest.
Well, how can well again, as I said, they've hit form at the right time. They're especially Hines, he's just a freak at the moment.
Their whole spine at the moment.
I think he's going for a record this weekend.
For what?
25 in a row or something, 25 goals in a row.
Yeah. I think I've seen something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's,
Another news today, just with the Roosters. Apparently, Herbie from the Dolphins is hitting the market, and Roosters are a big chance to sign him. I don't know how, but
really?
that's the Roosters for you. Yeah. Yeah,
I seen something. He did an interview the other week, but he's keen to stay at the Dolphins.
I hope he does. I don't want to see him at the Roosters.
Fucking no one does.
We want to spread this skill. We just don't want to stack teams.
Fucking linked with Cleary, linked with Herbie.
Yeah, I know. That's sombrero. Alive and well, eh?
The Bondi Bags, mate. They pay well.
You're not wrong.
Your worst team of the round, and why?
Fucking hell. As I said last night in the podcast, for the fifth week in a row, West Tigers. Just,
really?
I got that. Yeah, we do the good, bad, ugly. And my bad has been West Tigers for the last 5 weeks. And it was just the whole scenario. I wasn't filthy, but I was just disappointed. I was actually sad.
Fuck. So good, mate.
Yeah, it wasn't. I didn't like Benji's press conference at all. It's just screams of accepting mediocrity, and we've just got to be better. Parramatta was so bad. I don't know if you saw the stats, Joey, on the weekend, but we won every one.
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, mate, I watched the game and I didn't do much else after that, man. I'm just
we
losing interest.
Para missed 48 tackles to ours 26. How can they win? How could they? And we scored 2 tries, great individual efforts, both of them. But again, no team tries. We were rudderless in the red zone. Jerome tried hard, but again, running around like a chook with his head cut off. I just got nothing. I don't know where to go from here. I'm not even confident we'll beat Saints.
I'm not either. They're 2 out of. I feel like they're going to get 3 wins for the year, and 2 of them are going to be against the Tigers.
Yeah, and you know what hurts the most? All these sides that we were better than at the start of the year, or even when we had those injuries. All these the Canterbury's, the Paras, the St George's, the Titans. They're all playing 100 times better, and we're playing 100 times worse. Thank God there's no more rounds in the year. We could get the spoon,
mate. Our 5-2 start saved us.
Yeah, but you know what I always think about that is, was that just a cover because those wins that we had at the start of the year, and there's been years before we've always started well, but are we playing sides that hadn't gelled yet, hadn't hit form, haven't found their niche? I don't know. It's sometimes I sometimes think that the sides that we beat early on in the year, we're not going to beat later in the year. So I could be wrong, but I don't know. But I'll take them.
Every opposite fixture we've lost. So
yeah, exactly. We all fell on the injuries, and that's what derailed our season. And I'm still not 100% sure Jerome derailed our season.
I don't buy into that, man. Like, one player can't derail your whole season.
Yeah, Sean Millikamp practically said on the at the ambush event before the game that he played an impact in how we were traveling, but I just don't buy it.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was pretty. I watched a bit of that interview. I thought that was
Yeah,
a bit of a poor thing for him to come out and say publicly. Like,
yeah, I was
maybe that's
surprised.
what they're thinking internally, but I don't know. I don't think you should say that stuff in public. Because, like,
Yeah,
how
I agree.
Jerome, he's probably not going to listen to that, but how would he feel, the CEO basically blaming him for the season unraveling? Like, it's not fair.
Well, but do you remember when he announced that he was leaving? There wasn't any bad blood, even on social media. A lot of people understood; they got it. They're like, "How can we hold him back? He's going to make a ton of money. Who wouldn't sign for that?
Yeah.
For those tax-free dollars." So I think we were all happy. Unlike Galvin the year before, we were all filthy. But with Jerome, I think we all gave him gave him our blessing and said, "Oh well, I don't blame you." And then at the end of the day, he goes, "I'm here for another year," and it was Benji. He's the one that said, "You know what? We'll finish you up at the end of this year." So Jerome's really hasn't done anything wrong. And I know there's a lot of hate for him, but I don't see why. He's still trying his guts out, but we're just no confidence, and that's what happens.
Yep. Well, my worst team of the round, it was not the Tigers once. It was a team that conceded 82. It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
the Cowboys at home, man. I think to concede 82 points is bad enough. To do it in front of your home fans, sorry, it's
yeah,
embarrassing. Um, Probably the worst result in the history of the whole club. It felt like watching that game. It didn't feel like they were playing tackle footy. It felt like, did you ever play 1, 2, 3 grab as a kid?
yeah, yep,
Yeah, it felt like they
yeah,
were playing 1, 2, 3 grab, mate. Just a bunch of arm grabbing. They could not stick to tackles whatsoever. The Roosters, they were just butchering through them with ease.
Do you
Um,
think? Did you think? In the past, they always, their big game of the year is always against the Broncos, the
yeah,
Cowboys, and that was a week before with a 5-day turnaround. Do you think that had anything to do with it?
definitely, definitely. Especially like you said, like it's a big game for them. They obviously have to get themselves emotionally ready for the
Yep.
Broncos, a Broncos game, and off of a short turnaround, they probably took a lot out of them mentally and emotionally. And yeah, the Roosters, that man, they just came out to play and just fucking completely blown them off the
Yeah,
park. But Todd Payton at the Cowboys, his sides, they've always seemed to struggle defensively. And
yeah, yeah.
sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say that. I said his job was was being threatened at the start of the year. Remember, I think he was probably one more loss away from getting sacked. Then he turned
Yeah,
it
it
all
was him and
around. So
Siebes. They had the most pressure.
yeah, he's so hit and miss, isn't he? I really like Todd Payton. Loved him at the West Tigers, and I love him as a coach. He's a smart individual, but I just don't know what to make of him. I feel for him a bit.
His tenure at the Cowboys, it's been very mixed, hey.
Yeah, yeah, hit and miss. You just don't know whether he's a good coach or not. I'd probably say he still is.
It seems like
You
to
know.
me he's a very good attacking coach because
Yep.
his side can score points and like man, some of the attacking footy that the Cowboys play, like it's a sight to see, but they've
Yep.
just always seemed to struggle defensively under him. Like just I don't know. I think every season they've had conceded 20 plus under him a game. So
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'll take your word for it. He's I still can't get past the 82 points. I just don't
yeah,
get it. And I know I'm
it's
old
mind
school,
baffling.
but yeah, no, and I
Look,
know it's going
maybe
to take
part
the
of that is
name.
to do with like the new six again rules. Once a team
Yeah,
has momentum nowadays, it's pretty hard to stop. But fucking 82 points, like it's
yeah, I know.
embarrassing.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the six again. Um,
I don't think
I don't
anyone is.
know. No, no. Hopefully the NRL do something about it. Because
Well,
again,
it
mate, the
seems like
sport,
they have sort of tweaked it a bit, eh? Because I feel like it's not as heavily policed as how it was in like the first half of the season. What
yeah.
do you reckon?
But you're still getting teams playing on it. A lot. Penrith, a prime example. They're happy to give away 2 6 agains just to get their line set. So a lot of the coaches take the piss with it, and I just don't think it's good for the game. If you're offside, fucking penalty. Fuck the six again.
I felt like last year there was like a better balance around it, but once they changed the rule back to a six again after 20 meters, I think coming out of
Yeah.
your own end, then I was like, nah.
Yeah. And a lot of times you don't even know what it's for.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
That's the most frustrating thing.
Yeah.
Like you're just fucking watching the game and all you hear is ding ding ding. It's like, mate, like what for?
Yeah, it's like touch footy. It's a fast game doesn't necessarily need mean it's a better game. I know I'm the minority here, but I preferred rugby league. Back years ago when there was a bit of attrition. You had the forwards getting tired, then you had the halves. Finding holes because of that tiredness.
We need
These days,
the Georgie Roses back, mate, and the Sam
yeah, exactly.
Cassianos.
Bring back the fat fucks. They're
The Sam Cassianos of the world, mate.
less injury. And do you think the way the game is and with speed? Do you think that's what brings on a lot of these injuries as well?
Oh, bloody oath. Especially now, like a lot of them seem to be like muscle based, hamstrings and calf
Yeah,
strains
yeah,
and pec injuries like that. That's probably just from overuse.
yeah. They're such finely tuned machines. These players that they're like crystal glasses. One knock and they shatter.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, yeah, players weren't as fit, they weren't as strong, but they had that layer of fat around them, even the backs. And
You're
that's
going on
probably
you're
what.
going on one of my back in my day rants off.
Yeah. I'll start yelling at clouds in a minute. So anyway, it is what it is. I'm not gonna stop it.
Your player of the round and why?
Oh, Sam Walker. When you're leading a side that scored 82 points, how can you go against him?
Do you want to know a
You know?
fun fact for you?
Yeah.
I know one you won't like.
Well,
On Thursday,
yeah.
he scored more points that game than the Tigers have in a month.
I know. It's just grim. It's just grim. What's going on, West Tigers?
All right,
Oh,
enough Tigers chat. Sorry to bring it up,
I
but
know. Sorry.
I just, I just wanted to bring it to your attention. But
And you know
yeah,
what? It's
no, go on.
perfect
Sorry.
timing, an 82-point drubbing, and he goes to market. What do you think he's worth, this Sam Walker?
Fuck, playing like that, like 1.5,
I know
1.6.
I know I think he's mad wanting a 10-year contract. I'd be I'd be looking for 3 years, 4
Well, I've
years,
seen
and
something that he's currently negotiating for maybe 1.2 or
yeah.
1.3 a season, but with ratchet clauses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think when the cap goes up, his salary
Yeah.
goes up.
Yeah. A 10-year contract with the way, with how much money's being thrown around with TV deals, and that is madness. There's going to be so much more money coming to the game that you want to keep your options open. If I'm saying,
Yeah, but he's probably like happy in Sydney, he's settled now. He
yeah,
plays for one of the glamour clubs.
yeah,
He'll have a career as a Fox League pundit soon enough.
yeah.
Like
And
half of
that's
the
what the
Roosters
Roosters
ex
have.
players.
The Roosters have got something that you can't buy, and that's just lifestyle. They, if you're an NRL player, Joey, and you want to come down to Sydney and you've got an offer to play with Parramatta, or and you've got an offer to play with East, for both, 500 grand a year, who are you going to go and play for?
Mate, I'm a Westie, mate, so
Oh, okay.
so
No,
I don't
there's not
know.
many El Janas,
Parramatta
not
doesn't
many El
sound bad
Janas
to me,
around
mate.
Bondi.
I prefer Parramatta than fucking Bondi.
Yeah, fair cop. Oh, okay. Let's just say for the average punter, then
Yeah,
they
definitely
living
the
on the
eastern
beach.
suburbs.
If you're single, hallelujah. Yeah.
Uh, no, my player of the round was Sam Walker too, man.
Yeah.
He has the ball on the string at the moment, and yeah, it's pretty hard to look past his form. I thought playing for Queensland, he was probably the best spine player of the series for them. Created a lot.
Yeah, he it was his first series and absolutely blew everyone off the park. But let's not talk state of origin.
Yeah, no, I was just bringing up his year overall. I just getting up his stats from the game quickly.
Yeah,
So he had a hat trick, 12 goals, 3 try assists, 1 line break, and 4 line break assists. So
wow.
yeah, it was like he was playing rugby league live on like rookie difficulty.
Oh yeah,
He
no, and
sure
you
had
know
a
what?
day out.
I'll give a shout out to Steve Crichton.
Yeah.
That move into the halves has proven a masterstroke. And I hate the Dogs, mate, but I'll tell you what, they're playing some good football. And you know what? I don't think they can win the comp, but tell you what, they sneak into the 8. They can ruffle a few feathers.
Well, look, we can talk about them for a bit if you want. I think yeah, you're right too. Serraldo's credit, man, he was copying a lot of flack mid-season. I know during the early days of the podcast, I was openly criticizing him myself, but he stuck solid, and the
He did.
Bulldogs, man, they're peaking at the fucking perfect time.
He had another
Um,
side. You're right.
like you said, peaking Stephen Crichton at 5'8", it seems to have been masterstroke, and it seems to have really unlocked Lachlan Galvin.
Yep.
Um, as much as we don't like to say it,
Yeah. I know.
I think this is probably the best he's played at the Bulldogs so far.
Yep.
Matt Burton seems to be, really enjoying his footy again, playing at centre.
Yep.
Um, they've gotten kick out back, they've gotten Preston back. Satili Tupanua returns this week for him. Other than Warriors and Penrith, Bulldogs versus Roosters this week. That's probably one of the games of the round. It's pretty hard to call with how both teams are going. And no, man, it's
Yeah.
credit to Serraldo because yeah, the Bulldog season, he's really turned it around. I think from correct me if I'm wrong, I think from maybe rounds 13, they've gone like 6-2 or seven
Something
and
like that.
two. They were a long shot at the 8, and I think they're 8th now, aren't they?
Yeah, they're sitting 8th. Yep.
Yeah, wow. See, there you go,
100%.
man. They've really done well to turn it around.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I said at the start of the year that, for and against is going to be massive for all teams this year. And, they are for sure by the end of the season, there's going to be multiple teams on 8, and it'll be that for and against that'll give someone a semi-final berth.
Well, that pasting that the Cowboys just got isn't going to help them.
No, it won't. Not at all. Not at all.
Well, our fans is a pretty unanimous agreement across the board. Sam Walker, man, is yeah, had the ball on a string and played a 10 out of 10 game.
How often do you see Cleary with a 0% next to him with anything? Never.
No, except when
Do you
he's
think,
recording
do you think,
TikToks.
do you think Penrith will keep him?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the talk is. I think that.
Where else is he going to go?
Well, I think like he's done everything right. There's nothing more he needs to. You're just like Luai, you'd nearly take an offer to go to PNG just for the money.
You know what I said to someone privately?
Yeah,
If I'm Benji, I'm giving Cleary a call on November 1.
yeah,
I'm selling him the vision that he sold Luai.
yeah.
Cleary, I don't think anyone has any complaints about how much you give him. Like, fucking give him 1.6, 1.7, as many TPAs as he wants. If I'm
Definitely.
Benji, man, I'm making the call.
Really?
Yeah, and he can rewrite the sins of his dad.
Yeah, fucking a lot of sins they are, mate. Still hate his dad for what he did. I think a massive carrot would be the Bears for Cleary. If he really wants to go over and make us, imagine if he went to the Bears and won a comp over there in their second
Yeah,
year or
but I
something.
don't know. Do you think like Perth that sort of like moving away from everyone,
Oh,
like his partner and his family. Well, his partner lives in England, sorry, but
yeah,
just being away. Oh, actually, you never know. Maybe step out of his comfort zone, try something new.
yeah. I don't know. I just look,
And
you
Perth
know,
could
and
they could chuck like 2 mil at him or something.
you could, yeah, you could get stale. Like, and just on Perth, like I feel for him. You know, the way PNG have been given,
Save it for
open
later,
work.
Hoff. Save it for later.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, we will. All right.
Controversy corner.
Look at the run sheet.
A bit of a preview.
Yeah.
Just a bit of signing news over the last week. So Jackson Ford has re-signed with the Warriors for another 2 years, and I think if he sees out his contract, it'll be a total of 7 years at the Warriors. Yeah, give us your thoughts.
He's the sort of player that the West Tigers need, just a toiler, not a massive name, just someone that just turns up week in, week out. It's a great signing for him.
Man, he's really done well to sort of turn his career around. I mean, I remember at the Dragons, there weren't some nice things being said about him.
No.
It's things like plotter and all sort of that
Yeah.
sort of stuff. But credit to Andrew Webster, man. He's a really
Yeah.
good coach.
Yeah.
And he's really turned around a lot of the players at the Warriors, and turning Jackson Ford from a benchy from the Dragons to a starting front rower who was fucking leading the Dally M's at one point this year. I think before he got
Yeah.
injured. Yeah, man. Big credit to Andrew
Yeah.
Webster.
Again, yeah, I know you want to talk coaches of the year and that. Yeah, he's got to be up there, surely.
Yeah,
I know it's easy just to give it to Cleary because it's Ivan Cleary, but I tell you what, he's right up there as well.
for sure, man. Knights have extended rookie back rower Francis Manu Leilua till the end of 2028. Give us your thoughts.
I don't have any, to be honest. I really don't know much about him.
Fair enough. Thanks for being honest.
Good luck,
um,
Quinn, though.
I'm sure he'll feel a lot better hearing you say that, mate.
As I
Uh,
said, I don't watch every single game anymore, so the Knights aren't really high on my list of teams to watch.
they're actually a pretty fun team to watch.
But again, they're a side that have just come from nowhere. Who would have thought they'd be sitting where they are?
Yeah, Holbrook's done a fucking amazing job.
I know.
He's probably the coach of the year. Really? Wooden Spooners to what? They're in the
He's up.
top 6
Yeah,
now?
yeah, top 6. Hey, if I just on a side note, hey, if I'd have told you at the start of the year that the West Tigers are in a battle with the Broncos and the Storm over places on the table, you'd think we'd be top 4, eh?
Mate, it would have thought it was 2005 again.
Yeah. Oh,
um, Francis Manu, he's a beast, man. He's really been improving every game he's played for the Knights. He had another great game against the Broncos, and the Knights, they're getting some good business done, man. They've re-signed Dylan Lucas. I think I just had a mind blank, but no, they've made some good signings. They re-signed Kalen Ponga at the start of the year too.
Yeah,
And Bradman Best.
I was just going to mention Kaylee. No, it makes a massive difference when you've got your star players in form, and he's having a massive year, Kalen Ponga. I know he's been off the ball last year and even the year before a little bit, but I'll tell you what, he's back with a vengeance. And Bradman Best, Dominic Young as well, an unsung hero. He's playing better at the Knights than he did at the Roosters.
He's very hot and cold though.
Yeah,
Dominic
he is.
Young.
He is, and sometimes he's got hands like feet, but
Yeah.
overall, again, he's got that blistering speed that you just sometimes can't, get near.
Well, the Dragons, they've extended Loco Pacific Tonga for till the end of 2029, and the Couchman twins have both re-signed till 2030. Give us your thoughts.
It's funny with the Dragons, right? They've had an absolutely putrid season. Yet, they've still got this attraction to re-sign players. All these three players we're talking about, they're all decent players. None have gone, stuff these. Plus, look who they've got coming next year. Watch out for the resurgence of the red and whites, mate.
Yeah, no, man. I'm very jealous of the Dragons' recruitment and retention this year.
Yeah,
They're putting together an amazing squad. I think these are awesome re-signings to the Dragons, if I'm being honest. Ryan and Toby Couchman, guns,
yeah,
mate. I'm high on that whole young Dragons forward pack as a whole, man. The
yeah,
Couchman twins, they're guns, they're jets. I think, in a couple years we'll see them both wearing Kangaroos jerseys. That's how high I
yeah.
am on them.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah,
nah, they're guns, man. And Loco Pacifica Tonga, you know, it just sums up Shane Flanagan as a whole. The fact that he
yeah,
was fucking picking Blake Laurie over this guy all year.
yeah, yeah,
um, since Dean Young's given him an extended run, he's getting better every week. He's getting used to the contact, the ins and outs, and the weekly grind of first grade. From requesting release mid-year under Flano to re-signing under Dean Young. Man, it's a credit to the Dragons for sort of turning it around. And yeah, they've locked in now the Couchman twins, Pacifica Tonga, Kalol Matangi,
yeah.
Hamish Stewart, and Dylan Egan for like the next 4 or 5 years, man. I think they're gonna have one of the best packs in the comp for a very long
I,
time.
I think Kaloa Matangi's sleeping a lot easier at the moment. I was thinking of him months ago. I'm thinking, God, what would he be thinking?
Yeah,
Signing with
exactly.
them and the way they were playing. But I'll tell you what, yeah, they'll have a very, very strong fallback. And they're already showing, huge signs of improvement compared to how they were playing earlier this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, as I said, they'll they may not play semi-finals next year, but I'll tell you what, they'll be up there.
Oh well, they're assembling a roster that can. That's for sure.
Yeah, but everyone will get their injuries, and just depending on that next man up mentality, whether the
Yeah,
Dragons have got it.
yeah, exactly. And just on Kalol Matangi, mate, I don't think he's having problems sleeping with the 5 million he's going to be earning over the next couple of years. I think he's sweet.
I don't know. Joey, these players don't go there for money. They go there for the experience, apparently. That's why everyone's going to Papua New Guinea. It's got nothing to do
Ah,
with the money.
yeah. Wollongong's not better living than Redfern, eh?
Nah, nah. Uh,
Matt King appointed as the next coach of the Blues, I think, until the end of 2028. Give us your thoughts.
that come from out of the blue. I'd never even thought. He's the first coach that isn't a big name to coach the Blues. They've always got big names coming in, and he's the first one that look. He's been in the camp since 2023. I think he's the high performance coach for the Blues. So
He's
he's
been
been there.
assistant coach for a couple of years now.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's and he was I think he was assistant coach for Lebanon as well, wasn't he?
I'm not too
In the
sure. I
World
think
Cup.
that he could have been. I know he's currently the assistant coach at the Roosters as well.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
look, he's got pedigree, and be interesting to see how many Roosters players get picked next year. But yeah, look, good luck to him. Not too much luck, but yeah, wish him the best.
Oh, you're a filthy Queenslander, man. I forgot.
Why did you want to talk Origin just before?
Oh.
Oh,
The West Tigers are closing in on signing Jaden Brayley on a 2-year deal from next year. Give us your
I think
thoughts.
he's signed now, hasn't he?
Oh, it's official?
I think it's official. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen
I
anything
have a
official,
date. I
but
think they
pretty
have a
much
date.
is.
Yeah, look,
Yeah.
he's he's not going to set the world light, but a lot of people are saying he's just a replacement for Hope.
Oh, thank God.
So yeah, we can't have enough depth, mate. So, but from all reports, and I've got a mate who's a Raiders fan. I asked him what he was like, and he just goes, "Look, as I said, doesn't blow the world away, but he's just a solid. His best years are behind him, but again, I don't know what we got him for. Do you know?
Nah.
Yeah. So
But hopefully, I think the Raiders could be chipping in something for next year because I know he was contracted
yeah. I think
with
last
them
night
for
you
next year.
I think Josh mentioned that. So again, we'll take him. And I'm hoping he's not the last signing for the year. I'm hoping in the off season, there's a couple other players that come available that we can jag because again, we need that depth. I thought we had enough this year, but it wasn't to be.
Well, it was always a concern, I feel like, on a lot of fans' mind coming into the year with fucking Tristan Hope as the backup hooker. So
Yeah,
hopefully the clubs they're slowly seeing the issues, and starting this, this sort of helps with the hooker depth. It'll be interesting to see whether they have him or Jared Hayward as the backup hooker for next year. Hopefully this gives a bit more time for Hayward to develop so they can just
yeah,
stop rushing young kids in.
yeah, exactly. I don't like I've never been a fan of and I know we had to do it some years ago because we were rock bottom, but I hated seeing. Look, I'm proud of Javon Andrews for getting the debut, but he just wasn't ready, and I just didn't understand why.
Benji didn't do the kid any favors.
No, he didn't. It was the worst ever. And Hayward went good in his debut. The occasion didn't get the better of him at all. But again, I just think they're still kids. They're not ready. Even Macca, Macassini,
Yeah,
he just needs time in cup.
he's had a
So,
tough year.
yeah, again, I just pray that that football gods are good to us with injuries next year because
The
yeah,
football gods, mate. They think of the West Tigers as Hades, mate.
yeah.
uh Premiership winner Corey Jensen retires from the NRL due to blood clots.
Yeah, that's
Give us your
sad.
thoughts. Yeah, very sad.
And as fans, we've got to, and I know we all get passionate and we all carry on and hate this player and that player's shit and that player's great, but at the end of the day, their careers in rugby league aren't very long, and he wouldn't have seen this coming, but it's good that he's got onto it early, and I wish him the best. But hopefully, the Broncos look after him and give him a job somewhere, and he can live out his life comfortable.
Yeah, well said, mate. I think, especially this year, we're starting to see there's so much things that are like just bigger than rugby league. You got this guy
Yeah,
retiring from blood clots. Jai Arrow with his MND diagnosis.
yeah,
Craig Bellamy, I think
yeah,
he's been sort of diagnosed with something. I'm not too sure what it is, but
yeah.
like you said, that man, they're all humans at the end of the day, and wish them all the best. And yeah, man, it's sad for Corey Jensen to go out like that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's and I'm a prime example. I'm a throwback from the old era where there were spear tackles and shoulder
Smoking
charges.
darts at halftime.
Yeah, and people say, oh, go back to those days, bring back the biff and that. But these players are that strong that they brought back shoulder charges, and you'd kill someone would die.
They should bring
Half.
the bit back, but for Origin, what do you reckon?
I love look. I'm a spiteful person. I love nothing more than a spiteful game, and it can be anyone against anyone. It can be bloody Group 6. And if it's a spiteful game, I'll be on the edge of my seat watching it. I miss the days where players hated teams, and there was no smiles or laughs when a team got beaten by 26 points or something. They got off the field as quickly as they could. They were filthy. They're not taking photos and they're not doing any of that other bullshit. But yeah, it's it's a new era, and these players are that strong that, my God, shoulder charges and all that. It's the only. But yeah, you're right with the biff. Just how many players got knocked out from fights? Hardly any.
Didn't
So
fucking Andrew Johns copped a
yeah, he
wobble back
copped
in the
it.
days from the
Yeah, was like
From the
99.
cattle dog days.
Yeah. I agree. I love a good punch up, you know, because they're all haymakers and hardly any of them connect. And I'll tell you what, it'd shut those smart ass halfbacks up. You know, that's what I hate, these wingers and halfbacks come running in and going face to face with, you know, bloody Payne Haas.
We got two of them in our team.
Anything. Yeah. Yeah, we do.
You know what, mate? We can blame poor Gallen if he didn't fucking absolutely flog Nate Miles. We'd still be able to enjoy it.
There's been some good floggings, eh? Remember who was that? Who was that Penrith player? Gordon Tallis punched shit out of. I forget, but
That's before my time, mate.
But yeah, I miss
Robbie Farah as well and Danny Watts.
Yeah, hey, tell me, you know, as a West Tigers supporter, you know, who wasn't happy when 12, you know, slapped what's the name?
Oh, I don't know. I was a bit pissed off. Not because he slapped Salmon. I didn't give a fuck about that. But it was more like, fuck, like where the fuck was this all game? Like you're firing up now. We're fucking down 30-0.
Yeah, but he would have said something, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, me and Jack discussed it a couple of weeks ago, man. He definitely said something for sure. Like you've never seen 12 carry on like that, but ever.
He snapped.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not, it's so unlike, it's like years ago. I don't know if you remember when Nathan Hindmarsh, what's his name? The commentator, the old St. George player, Cronulla player, Ennis said something to Nathan Hindmarsh in a game, and Hindmarsh just stopped, dropped the ball, and just chased him. And you know, to this day, no one really knows what he said. But
Ennis was a serial pest back in the day.
Oh, he was a pig, but. Yeah, I'd still love to know what he said for Hindmarsh just to lose it the way he did.
And he said, "Show us your premiership ring."
Maybe.
Manly have signed Warriors forward Kalis Fatialofa on a 3-year deal. I don't expect you to know who this guy is.
No, I don't, mate. I take less interest in Manly and bloody Newcastle.
Is it true you used to, you know, go and flog Manly fans at Lidcombe Oval back in the day?
That was great games, mate. Okay, there's a lot of history between West and Manly. Don't worry about that. It'll be on YouTube, I reckon. There's a video called Fibros versus Silvertails. It's a 1-hour doco about the whole West Manly thing. It's a really good watch.
Do you have any stories, mate? Tell us a story. Story time with the Hoff.
Look, with Manly. Well, what happened in 1978? You know, West won the minor premiership, and you know, should have gone on to win the comp. They got fucked over by Greg Hartley in the major semi, and you know that if that wasn't bad enough, the following year Manly raided Magpie Stocks. You know, they took about 4 of our players, and from that point on, it was just we hate Manly and Manly hate us, and you know, the history was born. Fuck Manly, I hate them. One club I'd love to see kicked out.
Our co-host will have his right of reply next week because he's a Manly fan. Sean Blaw's signed a 2-year deal with the Broncos. Should
we take a moment, a pause, a minute silence for Josh?
Oh, yeah, I don't know, mate. We don't need him having favorite players because they all leave. So,
Josh Barnett, you know, loves Sean Blaw to death. Yeah, look, there was that rumor that he was going to come back. I think that was just a rumor, wasn't it? He was going to come back to the West Tigers. Was there any? Did that have any legs?
Nah, I know he did have a meeting with the club on returning.
Yeah.
Look,
look, you know, unlike Josh, I look, he was okay for us, and he's been okay in Melbourne. You know, his earlier time in Melbourne was a lot better than his later time. I would have taken him 100%.
Oh, bloody oath.
You know, but you just couldn't have guaranteed him a walk-up start into first grade. he would have had to prove himself. So, I'm sure the pressure's on him to prove himself up in Brisbane because that'd be a lot harder, a lot of pressure. But good luck to him.
Yeah, I
What
think
about
it's
you? What do
honestly
you
a,
think?
a, a good signing for the Broncos. I'm not sure. I don't know if he'll start on the edge. They got Piakura and Ricky, but I know the thing with the Broncos is they've really struggled for depth in the back row position.
Yeah.
I think whenever they get injuries, they've either had to play Xavier Willison or Jack Gazewski, who's just, all due respect, not a good footballer.
Mm,
So I think, Sean Bloor, he can come off the bench and do a job in the middle. And,
yeah.
if Ricky or P. Cora go down, he can easily slot in there. So yeah, no, I think it's a good signing for the Broncos.
Yeah. Well, Michael Maguire, well, he'd know him from the West Tigers days. So,
Yeah, exactly.
he sees something in him. I wish him all the best. As I said, he was one of those players that I don't think, I think he was pretty well liked and always gave everything on the field. So, and then when he went down to Melbourne, the occasion didn't get the better of him. He got into that starting side pretty much straight away, I think, from memory.
Yeah,
And
he
I didn't.
formed a good partnership with Munster
Yeah, he did.
on that left edge.
Yeah, defense was solid. He scored a couple. He scored heaps of tries down there too. I remember. And
Yeah,
then he just sort of fell out of favour. And I still don't know why. Do you know?
I think he had a couple of issues off the field, and
Oh, okay.
you know how Melbourne are with that stuff.
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
ruthless.
Yeah. Yeah.
Niwai Puru signs with. Apologies if I pronounce that name wrong. He signed with the Perth Bears on a 2-year deal starting from next year. You have any thoughts?
Um, I don't know who he is. Um, I've never heard of him.
Do you know
Um,
who anyone is?
oh, well, hold on. He's played three first grade games for Cronulla. God forbid.
This year?
This year.
Yeah.
Get hell. Um, again, I'd rather just focus on the Perth Bears as a whole. If I'm Mal Meningo, I'm filthy at this whole
Well,
setup. And
that's the next segment, mate. So just
that's an I still I've
save
jumped
your
the gun
breath.
again. I've
Save your
jumped
breath off us. Save your breath, mate.
oh,
Yeah, nah, it's I guess decent depth, but yeah, a bit of another average
yeah.
signing for Perth. Sorry, not for the half. But we're here. We finally arrived. Shane's jumped the gun a couple of times, but another new segment of Controversy Corner. This week I wanted to discuss the Perth Bears. Did the NRL or Valandis sort of, was it the wrong city, the wrong location, and that sort of stuff? The roster that they've put together for next year, if we're being honest, it's not a good one. A lot of people have tried to sort of compare them to the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins had a much better roster than they have. Um,
Yeah. The
the
Dolphins had
Dolphins in their first year, they had like fucking Hamaso and guys like Jermaine Asako and Ewan Aiken and Isaiah Katoa, those sort of guys. And I've got their current best 19 up in here from zero tackles. So
yeah,
you got Mason Barber at fullback, Luke Lauliti and Nick Meaney on the wings, Sean Russell and Shibasaki in the centers, Tyron Wishart and Sexton in the halves, Liam Henry and Mikolaj Gledsky. Apologies if I pronounced that name wrong. Tyson Smoothie at hooker, Scott Sorensen and Talakai starting back row, Josh Curran at lock, then on the bench, Maverick Geyer, Luke Smith, James McDonald, Isaac Fasulmaleawi, Jack Cole, Chris Vilea, and in the reserves, Harry Newman, um, Emali Bittengain. Apologies if I pronounced that wrong. Kit Lalii, Joe Rock, Upper Twiddle, and Niwai Puru. Mal Meninga's, he's got slapped with a 40K fine for tampering for, I think he was trying to speak to Matt Burton or someone early. And then there's rumors that Ben Gardner and Mal Meninga, Ben Gardner's the assistant coach, is supposed to take over as coach, I think in 2029. Rumors are that him and Mal aren't seeing eye to eye. I think they've already had like a CEO leave and replaced him again. Like, it's been a whole shit show from the start, Hoff. Here's your chance to finally speak on it.
Yeah. Thanks, mate. Where do you start? I hate sticking up for the AFL, but I tell you what, when it comes to expansion and new clubs, they do it so well. They don't let new AFL sides turn to shit. They prop them up, and the NRL have just given the Bears a license. Here, have Perth, all the best. Compared to what the Chiefs have been able to get, it's chalk and cheese. And I'm really concerned because I remember back in the day when the Western Reds were over there, and once all the gloss wore off those first couple of games, the crowds weren't great and they folded. And I just it's not a bad side when everyone's on the field, but again, nothing. Their halves are okay, but again, it's Mal Meninga will have to be an absolute magician. And you know what? If he is, they may perform better than I think. But and I go back to a couple of years ago, the Wars. They had a team of no names there for a while, and they ended up making the semis. So if all the players buy in, anything's possible. But I just think it's sad. I just think they've been given a shit sandwich with stuff or help from the Perth Bears. It's just not a level playing field at all.
No.
The Chiefs and the Bears. Just look at the Chiefs signings and the Bears. I don't blame Mal for bloody trying to jump the gun and speak to players. What's he meant to do?
Well, it was funny. Me and Jack said last week, I think you compare the Perth Bears' first signing was Toby Sexton. Compare that to PNG, their first signing was Jerome Luai.
Yeah, exactly. Like everyone will love the Bears, because they're not going to be a threat. Same reason everyone loves the West Tigers, unfortunately. But
Except our own fans.
yeah, yeah. But Ben Gardner would want to sort his shit out with Mal. That's the last thing they need. I wasn't aware of that. As I said, it'll be big for a while over there. Perth, I know we're the National Rugby League, but I don't. Let's be honest. New South Wales and Queensland are the only rugby league states. Everyone else is AFL. I just don't see how the NRL can make a splash over there. The Melbourne Storm did in Melbourne because from day one they had a competitive side and won a comp very, very early. That's not going to happen with Perth, and I just don't think there's the appetite over there for NRL. There wasn't when the Western Reds were there. So what's changed? I could be wrong. I hope I am, but I'm really cautious with this. I don't know how they'll go.
Do you think they'll start the next year as spoon favorites?
Depends how we go. Depends how the West Tigers go.
Look,
I don't know. I think
on paper, our team's not as bad as that.
No, it's not. It's not. We got a 10 times better side. I think they'll put. They may win a couple of games early. Excitement will be high, crowds will be there, but I think we get into around 7, 8, 9, 10. Injuries happen. I don't think they'll have a lot of depth. That's where they may get found out, or probably will get found out. But yeah, I wish them the best. But yeah, it just hasn't been. I just don't think it's been set up well at all, and the NRL should be ashamed of themselves.
Ashamed of themselves.
Fuck oath.
Look, I think I kind of agree. They've been set up to fail. If you're a player, mate, like how would you, how would you justify flying 6 hours, doing 12-hour flights pretty much every fortnight, traveling to Sydney or to Brisbane or to Melbourne, even worse to New Zealand. Then you have to do the flight all the way back. Like, I think, the players have been set up to fail. I think there's, there's a reason why they're sort of struggling to attract talent, because who wants to relocate to Perth in all seriousness and
Look,
and
Perth's a
travel to?
beautiful. Yeah,
Sorry, go on.
Perth's a beautiful. Yeah, Perth's a beautiful city. They got right next to Island. They got quokkas. They're the cutest animals on the planet. But that's about it. Yeah, a lot of travel. I think. Are they going to play block games? Is NRL going to set it up that they're here for a couple of weeks, or is that the following year with PNG? It's one of them. I read.
I'm not sure, but then how would that work with like families and stuff?
Yeah, true.
And like,
And this is where the NRL should have given them a lot more dispensation. Should have given them an increased salary cap.
well, I think they have now.
A little bit.
Well, they're in
They
the
need
process
more.
of approving something.
Yeah, well, that's what the AFL do. But it's not just a one-off. It's they get a stack of money for years. But again, you know what? There's still the off season. They may jag one or two other players. We don't know. But yeah, it just concerns me how this whole thing was.
I don't think Mal is the coach for him at all either.
Well, he's been, look, yeah, he was the Australian coach, but you and I, I could coach the Australian side. Like, what are you going to teach an Australian rugby league side?
Well, you coach your son's team, don't you?
No, my God, no. The closest I got was a trainer, and I ended up getting in trouble. So
why is that?
I'm hopeless with coaching kids.
Why'd you get in trouble?
Because I'm one of those ones that believe not every team deserves a ribbon. You know what I mean?
You're old school, mate.
Old school, like I think under 10s they don't even keep score. The fuck,
really?
Yeah,
right.
So anyway, it's I digress. But yeah, look, but if Mal can get the best out of these players and get them to believe and play for each other and all buy in, they'll definitely be competitive. I just worry about when injuries set in, their depth will be.
I feel like that can only take you so far, but looking at that lineup, I mean, other than maybe Tyron Wishart, like who's capable of winning a game on their own and sort of providing that X factor?
Well, good question. Shibasaki, you would have said last year, but he's gone right off the boil.
I know Mason Barber, he's a pretty highly touted fullback, and he's got some zip about him, but he hasn't even played in NRL yet.
Look, take this for what you will, but the North Sydney Bears are coming second in the KOE Cup, so I don't know. Maybe they've got a couple of hidden gems in that.
Are they? They'll be their feeder team.
Yeah, they will. I'm pretty
sure. But
then
how'd that work? Like, what do players do? They're going to fly from Perth to Sydney to play in New South Wales Cup.
No, well, they're going to be probably the cup side might be based here. I don't know, because they'll play out of North Sydney Oval. I'm pretty sure that KOE Cup side.
Yeah.
Just like how West play at Lidcombe and West.
No, but for example, so how like say someone's on the 19-man bench for NRL, right?
Yeah. I hear what you're saying. Sometimes it won't work out, but
yeah,
all I know is Norths are going pretty well in that reserve grade comp. So they may have a couple of players that may get called up. I don't know, but you're right. It's tough logistics.
Yeah, I feel like they've kind of been set up to fail. And just on the NRL expansion as a whole, what do you think? Like, I know they plan on having a second New Zealand team by I think 2030 or 2029. It is
madness. I'm a big believer in actually downsizing the competition, and making it a better product. I didn't like Super League, how that all come in, but I could understand the concept. I'd love nothing more than 12 or 14 sides and have quality games, from game 1 right through to game 6. or 7 if we have 14 sides. Expanding and making 20 teams. I just don't think the talent's there to match
Definitely
that.
not. I agree.
Like you know, rugby league's big in New Zealand. Let's not kid ourselves. But the Warriors come in what 95, I think 96. And they've had what a handful of good years, and they've got a whole country to pick from. How is there an appetite for another New Zealand side?
And the thing with the Warriors, like with all due respect, is that Australian players have sort of struggled to stay there long term.
Yeah, they get homesick.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
And is there enough talent in New Zealand to sort of be able to rely on a second rugby league team? Because I know unions the big sport over there rather than rugby league.
100% it is. And rugby league will never overtake rugby union. It's like PNG with rugby league.
Yeah,
It's so big that I think they can be called the Orcas or something. I just don't see how that can work. And I don't see having PNG and Perth is going to help the competition. We're already struggling for quality
there's not
players.
enough talent to go around.
No way there is. And I get, I know Josh and I go at it with each other with this subject. He wants expansion. I don't. I'd rather see clubs being forced into joint ventures and merge and having just state of origin
Fucking
quality
do
games.
mergers even work?
And who knows? If you're an old Illawarra fan, probably not. But I don't know. But I haven't been a big fan of expansion at all. And if you are going to expand, expand into the states where rugby league's the number one game, New South Wales and Queensland.
Yeah, but do New South
Melbourne.
Wales need another team?
You know what? I would love to see. I would have loved to have seen a Central Coast Bears side that was talked about all those years ago when John Singleton was going to bankroll the lot of it.
Like, isn't not to sort of like be a bit ignorant here, but like Newcastle and the Central, like it's pretty much the same, isn't it?
No. A lot of people
No.
think that, but it's still it's another hour and a half up the road, Newcastle, and Newcastle's a city where, Gosford, that Central Coast area, it's a smaller city, but it's just chock full of junior talent. That's just
Yeah, but
been
I'm pretty
ignored.
sure that's all Roosters' heartland now.
Yeah, it is, but it wouldn't have been. Like
Yeah.
when the Northern Eagles, when Manly and Norths merged to become the Northern Eagles, and then they ended up sort of playing a huge chunk of games up at the Central Coast. The Central Coast people, they didn't embrace it because it wasn't their side. I to this day I still do not understand how the NRL didn't allow the Central Coast Bears in. It beggars belief. They had a purpose built stadium. It would have worked 100%. Another Queensland team. Maybe Ipswich, but not another New Zealand side. And Melbourne only worked because they've been competitive from day one. With the financial backing they have. But I'll tell you what. You watch the crowds drop off down there. If they sort of hit more into a hole.
Yeah. Well, I know Richo tried, I think, with East Tigers or Brisbane Tigers to sort of get them in there.
Yeah, there was that rumor, that to get them in. There was East Tigers and Ipswich and Redcliffe. I think they were the three Queensland sides fighting to come in, and Redcliffe won it, which wasn't a surprise. Redcliffe are steeped in,
It's
huge
not
amount
Redcliffe
of
Hoff, it's the.
the Dolphins.
Yeah. There's just a bit of a meme online.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's so they and that's why the Dolphins have sort of come out firing. They've got over 50 years of foundations to fall back on. They're not a new club. So they were always going to do well. And they were always going to be that team that were going to be brought in. But, does that mean Ipswich should not be looked at? I'd rather an Ipswich side, another Queensland side, than New Zealand, if it's going to happen.
Yeah, but I guess, I don't know, I can sort of see what they're trying to do with New Zealand in the sense like they're trying to grow the game there more. But I don't know. Like personally, maybe someone from New Zealand can give us more of an insight. But I just don't think
Yeah.
there's enough rugby league talent currently in New Zealand to sort of justify a second team. Because really, if you think about it, like I feel like the second New Zealand team, maybe the star signing, it'll probably be a current Warriors player, right? Like I
Yeah.
could see, I'm making a prediction actually right now, Hoff. The
Yeah.
first signing of the New Zealand expansion team, James Fisher
Yeah.
Harris.
They'll eat each other. I think both clubs will start eating each other.
James Fisher Harris, mate. He's crossing the ditch like Thomas Flegler did from the Broncos.
Who knows? But we talk about the Bears, being a tough place to, up and move your family to, that South Island of New Zealand. Fuck, it's not warm. Who'd want to go and live there? It's
Well,
beautiful, don't
it's
get me wrong. But fuck, I tell you what,
people say the same thing with Canberra. They do all right.
yeah, that's true. That's true. They do. It's but yeah, look, at the end of the day, if I could be guaranteed of quality games with 20 teams, I'd welcome it. But I just know it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
There's going to
for
be
sure.
and there's already a separation in the competition as it is when it comes to quality sides to shit. So it's only going to, be worse when these other sides come in.
For sure. Well, I asked Hoff for his tips, but he didn't know how to screenshot from his Nokia. So, um, not to flex or anything, but I did get a perfect round last week. So,
I don't know how.
some people call me Joey Middleton.
Well, last year, I don't know if you remember, and even the year before, I think I won it the year before and finished
Oh, you
second last
didn't.
year in our tipping comp, right?
No,
On
you
the Discord.
didn't.
I went close. I'm sure I did. And I won 2 tipping comps last year. This year, I'm in 3 tipping comps. I'm running last in 2 of them and second last in the other. That's how bad I'm going. And then people think I'm
Yeah,
just
because
taking.
mate, every
I'm
week you
not.
say you're fucking confident of a Tigers win, and we get pumped.
I keep
That's
waiting for
why.
these sides to come good, and they're fucking not. Oh,
Just run us through your tips for the week.
Titans to beat the
Cowboys.
Cowboys. Is that who they're playing? I'm just looking at
Yeah.
yours. Yeah. Titans
Yeah.
to beat the Cowboys. And that's at Seabus, I think.
Yep.
I think we're going to see a better effort from the Cowboys. Don't get me wrong, but the Titans are another side that are playing a lot better than they were at the start of the year.
Yeah, for sure.
Jojo Fafita, he was an unsung hero for Queensland. In that State of Origin series, and they've got pace and they've got the skill. And fuck, what's it take for a Gold Coast side to be successful? They've tried it so many times up there. Again, you want to talk about areas that are big in junior football. The Gold Coast packed with great juniors, great players come out of the Gold Coast. I don't understand how they just have never been successful, but and I'm going back all the way to the Giants days in 1988. It's just never worked up there. Hopefully, it turns around. So I
Mate,
think,
because if you lived in Surfers Paradise, would you care about footy or fucking the lifestyle?
well, there was a football player in a press conference years ago who went up there and he said it. He goes, "I'm up here just for the women." I'm up here to F the women. He actually said in this press conference. That's all he cared about. So yeah, it's there's a lot of distractions. Don't get me wrong, but God, there are worse places to bloody play football at. So yeah, I think they can beat the Cowboys, but it'll be a lot closer than you might think. I'm tipping upset. Think the Wars will beat Penrith over there. The Wars would have circled this game weeks ago to try and really make a statement. Hopefully, if they can upset the Panthers, they'll take that into the semi-finals if they come up against them. Say they've beaten them once, why can't we beat them again? We both picked the Roosters. They're playing the Dogs. I just think, how can you not after their performance last week? I'm going to stick with the Storm over Manly. That's being played in Perth, so it'll be interesting to see what the crowd is over there for that. But yeah, I think the Storm will come back. I'm not sure whether they've got everyone back. Is Munster and Jerome Hughes back?
Munster's back, not Hughes.
Yeah, okay. So I think they can get the job done, though. The wheels are falling off Manly and suck shit. Dolphins will get the win. Who are they playing?
Dolphins, they're playing fucking. Sorry, guys. Let me just quickly check.
Sorry, I should have fucking looked it up.
That's all right. They're playing Broncos. Queensland Derby.
That'll be massive.
Yeah.
But I think the Dolphins will.
I reckon the Dolphins tell them up.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
This is what I've been saying about us, and this is why I always think, I'm not 100% sold. Things are back to being rosy behind closed doors at West Tigers. Had they have come out and smashed Para, I would have disagreed. But look at the Broncos. Look at the players that they've got, and look at the way they're playing. When there's dramas behind closed doors, you can run out a Queensland Origin side from the Cameron Smith days, and they'll still lose.
You know what, but I feel like the media, they fucking create dramas at the Broncos just because they unfairly target Madge. They just seem to have a hate boner for Madge.
Yeah, it's a massive fishbowl up there, though. You know what I mean? Like, imagine being part of that Broncos squad, where even coaching staff, like, it's a whole city, and they live, breathe, and eat football up there. It's a tough gig,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's at Suncorp, but both home game. So just like us with Parramatta, but I just think Dolphins are in heaps better form. They should win. I think it'll be close though. I think there'll be a try in it. And then South will beat Para. Para fucked. Raiders will beat the Knights as well. I pick. And I tell you what, this last game at Cogra, Saints always lift versus Cronulla. Again, it's another rivalry game.
It's the battle of the beaches.
Yeah, you'd take Saints with the start, I reckon. In that, they're paying $4.75.
Yeah, right.
So, I'll tell you what, they'll be paying. They'd be worth. The head start would be all right. So, but yeah, so that's it.
All right. Well, make sure, listeners, that you tip the opposite of what the Hoff has.
Yeah, I'm fucking putrid. Bloody 14 and a half head start, St. George. Get on.
How much is that paying?
$1.90.
Fuck.
Or you can take them head to head for $4.75.
Yeah, no one's that confident. No one's that brave.
I don't think Saints will beat Cronulla, but I don't think
it could. No, it'll probably be a close game. You're not wrong. 14 and a half for $1.90. That's actually pretty good value.
100%.
Chuck in Sione Katoa, anytime try scorer, or Ronaldo Mulitalo, Tyrell Sloan.
They'll always get a big crowd out there for that sort of local derby. So
as always, gamble responsibly, guys.
Always.
Chuck that in there.
100%. Especially if you're taking my tips.
So I've gone the Cowboys to beat the Titans. I think they'll bounce back. I think they have Dearden back this week as well. So that's a big in for them. I've got He re-signed.
Yeah, he's going to re-sign.
Oh wow! Okay, that's huge for them.
He's going to extend, I think.
Tommy Dearden.
Yeah.
Penrith to beat the Warriors. I've gone Roosters to beat the Dogs, but like the Hoff, that's actually a bit of a hard one to call. I think the Roosters will they get too comfortable? We know they have that sort of performance in them. I'm pretty sure all the Dogs actually beat them at Allianz last year, so Yeah, that one could have go either way. I've gone Manly to beat Melbourne. I think they'll
Why's
bounce
that?
back. I think they'll bounce back. Melbourne, they're missing Hughes and Grant. It's
Yeah,
two big players for them. I just think that Manly might have more points in them, but they've been pretty poor the last couple of games, Manly, especially defensively.
yeah,
Um, I've gone Dolphins to beat the Broncos. Souths to beat Para. Raiders to beat the Knights, although that game's kind of hard to call for me, to be honest. And Sharks to beat the Dragons.
yeah. I just keep waiting for Newcastle to fall over, and they're just not. Like they got every chance to beat Canberra. Canberra haven't been setting the world alight.
Yeah. Oh, actually, you know what? They've fucking really hit form
Mm,
the last month or so, actually, Canberra. They just ran into fucking red hot. When Penrith play how they did it against Canberra, like no one's stopping them. Like Penrith just have those days where everything just
yeah,
clicks, man, and they're unbeatable. So it'll be
no,
interesting to see, like, whether that was sort of just a one game thing for Canberra or if they do
yeah.
start to slide a bit.
Who knows? As I said, every other team's improving, bar West Tigers.
Yeah, the West Tigers are the only team that gets worse every year, mate. So,
Can we have a quick chat about Benji? What are your thoughts?
oh, mate.
Question without notice.
Look, he's starting to lose me a bit, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
I said it last week. You know, I think chucking Adam Dwayne back straight in the team was very, it's not good
mm,
enough. I think, he preached a lot about standards in the
yeah,
preseason, and if you want to make a name for yourself and your club about standards, you can't let the Dewey get his way, and that's what he did. Dewey
yeah,
spat his dummy, threw his toys out the cot, and he found his way straight back into the team. I thought if you wanted to take a stance for yourself and your playing group, have him come back through reserve grade or play him at lock. I
yeah,
think it's
yeah.
unfair to sort of do what he did to Javon Andrews. Play him for one game and then that's it. Like back to cup.
Is Latu is La when Latu's back? Is that then the time Benji will move him to lock? Is the reason AD staying at lock is because Latu's out?
I mean, hopefully, but I feel like at that point we might just see Jerome drop to the bench. To be
Yeah,
honest,
yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
I think Benji, if he wants to coach, be a long term coach, he needs to swallow his pride and actually get some people in that'll challenge him because at the moment, he's being let down by the people around him.
Yeah,
Brett Hodgson, gun player, won a comp for us at fullback. He's a rubbish attacking coach. Um, I've said it.
yeah,
This isn't something and like a new opinion from me. I was against that appointment when he got announced. If you look at his coaching record as a whole, he's hasn't had success anywhere he's been.
no, you're right.
Um, and our attack, it just gets worse and worse and worse. Even on Sunday, it's not like we scored our tries through
Mm,
fucking brilliant game plan in the red zone. It was more just
yeah,
individual efforts. You know
individual
what I
effort.
mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's sort of been all of our tries over the last month, just individual efforts, no actual attacking structure or any sort of game plan in the red zone. It's just fucking one out running and a bomb on the fifth tackle. Look, it's hard because you're never going to find someone that cares about the club as much as Benji,
no, not at
but
all. You're right.
it's just yeah, his selections. I think for me as well, something he's getting horribly wrong is the development of our young players.
Yeah,
I think he's fucked around with Latu Fani all year.
he's got the
Hamasi,
patience of a saint, hasn't he?
sorry,
He's got the patience of a saint, Latu Fainu. Just happy to
yeah,
sit in the wings and get fucked over here, fucked over there. If there's one player that buddy has a right to say, what the fuck's going on? It's him. So, and that's why I want him to, I want to give him this chance in the last couple of games. He fucking deserves it.
Well, he'll be the half next year with Luai gone.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see what he's got because everyone's going, he's our next big thing. But, he's had fuck all game time in the halves to even show us a glimpse of, how good he is.
No, for sure. And I think he's really stunning the development of Makasini.
Yeah,
Um, and Sunday was a perfect example of that. Look, I'm not blaming the kid at all. My anger and frustration is directed at Benji, but
yeah,
unfortunately, Makasini cost us the game on Sunday. It
yeah,
was a pretty very very poor defensive read, and he just flew out of the line into no man's land, and Parramatta
yeah,
found the gap, and he's just playing like a kid that has no confidence,
yeah,
and it's
exactly.
sad. It's
Yeah.
sad, and and Benji just keeps throwing him to the wolves. So
And I get
yeah, I
the
don't know,
the depth isn't there, and that's probably why he's getting this game time. But
but
yeah, it's
he has the leading try scorer in New South Wales Cup that he just refuses to play.
Sakuru. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
so
yeah. Look, his defense is a little bit hit and miss, but yeah, you're 100% right. He's an attacking
mate,
machine. He's
it's not like
fast.
Macassini's fucking
I know. I
locking
know.
down his opposite centers. Like,
I know. I know. Maybe it's had he have not signed with Para, and I can't blame Sakuru signing with Para because God,
yeah,
he's been in Cup the longest.
man, he's been a
Without
fucking gun
getting
in
stepped
Cup.
up. Yeah, leading try scorer. Yeah, he's so again, who knows what we're going to see in these last 5 games, 4 games, or whatever we got left.
Yeah, I don't know, mate. If you asked me at the start of the year, I'm Benji all the way. If you ask me now, it's
Yeah,
not looking good.
he won me over. I wasn't a fan of his appointment, but he won me over. And whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, as they say. And hopefully, this last 6 months of
Yeah, I
done
know, but
something.
the thing is, if we go to the end of the year without winning any games, mate, like
Yeah,
how does he recover?
exactly. It's we always knew we had a tough run. At the end of the season, but there's a real chance that our only real chance of winning a game will be against Saints. But again, they're on
Or
the
Penrith
improve.
in the last round when they rest all their players.
Yeah, they'll probably rest them the week before and then go against us with a full squad. I think they did that last year. They rested their plays in the second last round.
Oh, maybe
So
actually.
yeah, it's I didn't want to think that far ahead, to be honest.
Well, mate, I feel sorry for you for having to talk about them every week. So
Yeah, I try to. It was it was hard doing interviews. I'll tell you what. After the game, yeah, it was
yeah,
tough. It
you
was
said
tough.
you interviewed people that came down from Queensland, was it?
Yeah, there was yeah. So I met 2 guys that a guy and his wife come all the way from Rocky. They booked tickets months ago, and they had to sit through that shit. And then a couple of people outside that had travelled down. These kids that come from America. Fucking
Fuck.
disaster. Yeah.
They're like
So
that little kid from the Sharks game.
yeah, yeah. How's he traveling? Has anyone done a welfare check on him?
Mate, I feel sorry. You know what's fucking hilarious? He ran out with the team that day. We got
I
pumped
know.
by Penrith 68. It's like I would have fucking walked. I would have got home. I would have fucking threw my jersey off at home. Like, I'm not doing this anymore.
As I said, my son saw it early. He goes, "Fuck this! I'm going for the Storm." I couldn't blame him. I go, "Fair enough."
My dad's an old Maggie like you, mate. He sucked
Yeah,
me in.
yeah. Oh fuck yeah! But it said we can't go anywhere. I'll never stop supporting West Tigers.
Nah, neither
Yeah,
will I. Even though the club's fucked.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
All right, Hoffa, it's been fun, mate. Certainly
Thanks for
been
the invite
enjoyable.
again. I know it was last minute and that, and would have done a bit more research if I know I was going to get the call up. But hopefully, didn't put anyone to sleep.
Nah, mate, we had a good time.
Always, mate.
Well, thanks again, guys. for listening into another episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys again next week. Hoffa, hopefully we can have you on again soon in the future.
Yeah, just yell out, mate. I'm always here.
Make sure you learn how to screenshot your tips next time.
Yeah, I will, mate. I will. I'm not
A
super
simple,
tech savvy, you know
it's a simple chat GPT search, mate.
that.
What do you mean you're not tech savvy? Aren't you? You're starting up a Twitch channel soon, aren't you?
Oh yeah, please. No, actually, I go all right. I go all right with the tech.
GTA 6.
I go all right
What is it?
with it. I go all right with the tech, but
That's what I mean,
gotta
mate.
try and- yeah, it's I don't know. As I said, like at 6 o'clock tonight, I was looking forward to having a relaxing night. Then I get the call up. Go easy, mate.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Tune in next week.
See you guys.